This video accompanies part 3 of the Digital DJ Tips Learn to DJ email course. This is a 50-part course. It's completely free to sign up to, and you can do it at digitaldjtips.com/join. And today we're talking about choosing a great DJ name. Now, I want to talk about the difference between generic, descriptive, suggestive, and arbitrary DJ names. Now, this is kind of like a tier, and it's important to understand this because if you ever need to protect your DJ name, like in court or whatever, if you become famous and you've been using your name for a while and you get into a dispute, you should know the difference between these things, because now is the time to choose a name that fits into the category that means you can protect it the best. So let's look at them. A generic name is a name which just describes something so broadly that there's no way you'd ever protect it. For instance, DJ. Now you try protecting, hey, I'm a DJ, so I'm going to call myself DJ. Try protecting that in court, ain't going to happen. It's like shoe shop, something like that. So you always want to avoid generic names, of course. We can kind of all understand that. But the next tier up from generic is descriptive. A descriptive name would be, an example would be your name. So in my case, it would be Phil Morse. It's a descriptive name, it's my name. And, you know, that's what I've always called myself as a DJ. But if another Phil Morse came up and that was his birth name, then I couldn't stop him using that DJ name because it's his name as much as it's my name. So a descriptive name like Phil Morse, or DJ Phil Morse even, is describing I'm a DJ and my name's Phil Morse, hard to protect in a court of law. Now we're talking, of course, about copyright here. I'm going to move on to trademark in a second. The next tier up from that is suggestive. Now, say your name's Simon and you think, hey, I'm going to call myself Sexy Simon, DJ Sexy Simon. It's a suggestive name. It's a little bit more than a description, and it's a little bit easier to protect in a court of law. Although you'd still struggle to do it, you might need to buy a good lawyer to get that one through the court and to win your case. Now, right at the very top of the chain is a completely arbitrary name. Now, in the world of big brands, it's things like Coca-Cola, Kleenex, that kind of thing. I guess Kleenex could be a little bit descriptive, but, you know, mainly Kleenex and Coca-Cola and things like that are just made-up words. And so they're pretty easy to protect. And in DJing, I think something like Skrillex, for instance, you're going to be pretty hard if you come along as Skrillex and you know, try and win a court case against an existing Skrillex DJ. So it's worth being aware of that when you're choosing your DJ name. The second thing that people wish they'd done differently is whether to use the letters DJ or not in front of your name. Now, I saw Pete Tong talking about this. He was referencing people like the Chemical Brothers. Now, the Chemical Brothers are DJs. They DJ. When you go and see the Chemical Brothers in a club, they can DJ just as much as they can produce. However, they don't call themselves DJs. They call themselves the Chemical Brothers, the act. And that's led them to doing lots of studio albums, soundtracks, all that kind of stuff. They are artists who chose not to use DJ in front of their names. Now, there are other artists who do use DJ in front of their names who are just as valid producers as the Chemical Brothers are, but they chose to put DJ in front of their names and found that it was a hindrance, because once you put DJ in front of your name, that's what you are. You're a guy who plays records, or of course CDs or digital files or whatever. But producing is very important to DJing nowadays, so do you even want to call yourself a DJ at all? Be careful about putting those letters DJ in front of your name. Think of what Deadmau5 said as well. He said, I'm not a DJ. Now, we're getting into the realm of what is and what isn't a DJ, and this is a different kettle of fish. Deadmau5 plays sets where he's playing in a way that DJs would recognise as DJing, and he plays sets where he does stuff that's more live, but he won't allow himself to be called DJ. Think about that one. Things are changing fast, and you don't want something hanging around your neck that you're gonna wish you hadn't done in the future. The third thing I want to talk to you about is whether your name's already been used. Now, this is a really big one, and there's people who will take a lot of money from you for checking whether your name's already been used or not. You know, out there in the real world, we're all starting out as DJs. We haven't got a massive amount of money. We can't afford to pay lawyers to go around every country in the world checking our names. Thank the Lord we have the internet, because there are ways online that you can basically get the job done. So you've chosen your name. you now need to find out, the main thing is if the .com is there or not. So the .com is checkable really easily by just using a site like GoDaddy and typing it into the box and seeing if your name's available. Now, let's try Skrillex. What a surprise. I'm guessing, by the way, that Skrillex isn't available. What do you think? It's already taken. So this is your first port of call. Type your name in here and have a look and see if it's available. Use a reputable company. I know GoDaddy don't do what I'm about to say, but some companies, the second you type a name in there, they will kind of pencil that name as something that someone out there in the blogosphere is looking for, or on the World Wide Web is looking for, and then all of a sudden when you come to buy it, the price has mysteriously gone up. GoDaddy's alright for that as far as I know. It's a safe place to check DJ names. So there's a lot of fun there, you know, and it actually suggests different things. Now, they're pretty rubbish, but there's some names down here that you might want to look at. In its suggestions, you might get ideas for a DJ name through doing that. The second thing is, once you've found a .com, you need to know whether that name is available on social media sites. Now, there's a couple of suggestions here. The first one is this one. It's called Noam. Thanks to Mark at Scratchworks for suggesting this one to us. And this will allow you to check your name on lots and lots of sites, and can also, for a fee, help you to register on those sites as well. So there's a good place to check. Another one is Namecheck, which will do the same thing. Between the two of those, you should be able to check a hell of a lot of networks and see whether your name's available. By the way, Namecheck for certain won't tell you if the name you've chosen is actually valid on those sites. So say you're choosing names with non-standard characters in or stuff, not that you would. This will just say, yeah, it's available, when actually you could never get that, just as a heads up. Okay, we've now found our name is on social media, and we've also found a .com, and we've also taken into account whether or not it's going to be easy to defend should we become big and famous. When we become big and famous. One more thing to think about though is your trademark. Now, something that can be trademarked is something like your performance or your productions, or, crucially, your logo. Now look, take a look at this. This is a Creamfields poster. Look at all the top DJs and the logos they have. They're not just names, they're also something that can be trademarked. And that is something crucial you can add to your brand. And nowadays it's kind of important not only to have a name, but to have a designed logo for it as well. So at this stage, you need to think about what your logo is going to look like and what your name's going to look like when it's turned into a logo. So here's a lot of things to think about. Get this right, because once you've done it, you can't change it. It's what you're stuck with. You don't want to be changing your name down the line. I'll come back to the example of the Chemical Brothers here. When they started out, they were called the Dust Brothers, and there was also the Dust Brothers over in the US, and they had to change their name to Chemical Brothers later down the line, and I bet they wish that they didn't have to do that. So make sure you're careful at this stage, and it'll save you a bit of hassle later on. Thanks for watching, and see you in next week's tutorial.